Yeah, but totally memorized. I'm kidding.
Gosh. Okay.
I remember that number 3 is relational equity.
Good. Welcome to the Regular Dad podcast vlog. I don't even know what you technically call this. A video-based podcast.
Video podcast, I think, is what the term is.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Yeah.
what the kids are calling it these days.
No, we didn't consult them, and that's okay. I don't.
Yeah.
But I am going to pull up the outline. This is going to be the pilot episode. This is where we tell you how this came into being, what the current vision is for it, where we think it's going to go, and just kind of speak to that. So, I mean, right out of the gate, the Regular Dad was a premise. Well, I'll give you the story. Our kids are adopted, and I hope to have them on here as we develop and advance this whole program. But our kids were adopted. They were very young, and they were trying to wrap their minds around who their parents now were,
Right.
What we did.
How old were they when you guys adopted?
So they were 3 and 5.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
they had birthdays 6-7 weeks after they moved in. Okay, so we were at 3 and 5, and then quickly 4 to 6. But somewhere in that 7 week span, 6-7 week span, we were explaining, what I did. And I worked for a church at the time, and Dina, that's my wife, who I'm sure we'll have on here as well, she was a counselor educator. She was not yet working on her PhD. That was something she started a little bit later, but she was
Right.
working in the counseling field as a counselor at that time. And so she's explaining to my daughter Everly. So Everly's very inquisitive, asks a lot of questions.
And she's 3 at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's quizzing Dina while they're in the kitchen cooking, and they're doing all the stuff. And she says, "All right, so what are you doing?" And they're going back and forth. And she finally wraps her mind around the concept that I work for a church and Dina is a counselor. Okay, this is a win. But when it was illuminated to her, when she caught on, because she's like, "Well, is Dad a counselor too?" No, he's just regular, right?
Yeah.
And meant nothing disparaging at all, but I'm in the living room doing what regular dads do at the end of the day, feet up, watching TV,
Right.
I'm sure.
Right.
And she hollers from the kitchen, "Banks," that's her brother, "Banks, we have a counselor mom and a regular dad." Well, there's that.
Yeah.
And so Dina and I just, cackled at Everly's illumination. But then I started hashtagging things, Regular Dad, on Facebook, just stuff that I wanted to go back and look up,
Right.
Memories and different things that I could look up at any time. But then when this came to being, this concept started to come to life, I was like, I just want to explain to people that, I've got a story that goes along with, with my life, and I'm just a regular dad like everyone else. And I was like, of course, that's it, the regular dad. So that was the naming side of it, and Everly takes much pleasure in that to this day, and rubs it in Banks' face.
How old is she now?
Yeah, well, now she's 14.
Yeah.
So we've come a long way.
Yes.
But anyway, so yeah,
You're still the regular dad, though.
I'm still. Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
now Dina's PhD and
Yeah.
meets with the big wigs and flies across the country, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'm in construction now.
Yeah. The regular dad.
The regular dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you a regular dad there, Jimmy? I'm not like texting or anything. I'm actually still trying to pull up that outline
Okay.
because I haven't successfully navigated to that yet. So I'm doing that right
I
now.
thought
So
iPhones were super easy to use.
are we going to start that this early? listen, green message man. Golly.
It's all about the green messages.
I couldn't send you a picture from my house because I didn't have enough cell signal in my house. I'm going to have to get...
The question you need to ask yourself as to whether or not that picture was something that I would want to receive.
Well, it probably wasn't because it's me. But and I'd only send very funny stuff or very inappropriate and still funny stuff. So I don't know what it was,
Yeah.
but still, I'm gonna have to get like a Wi-Fi or a cell signal booster for the inside of my house just to communicate with you.
Well, you built the house. You didn't take into account the communication
no,
with a good friend when you built your house?
I did not.
Yeah, well,
I did not, and I was kind of hoping to get you over to the iPhone side of things, but that didn't.
that'll never happen.
Yep, that's not going to happen. All right, I have the outline, so please, but tell me,
Yes.
how are you a regular dad?
So, like you, and I don't think this is necessarily a requirement to be a regular dad, but like you, I'm married to someone who is significantly more accomplished and educated than I am. No offense, but it feels like you admitted that too. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
I admit that, and I live it.
Yeah,
on
so
the
there's
daily.
there's some degree of that going on, and I just don't read all the books
Right?
on being a father. I don't even, like, to be really honest, listen to podcasts on being a father, which kind of I find that a little ironic considering what we're doing.
Nah.
But this is a discussion for all of those people like us
Right?
who don't do that. Yeah. So, anyways, I just don't consider myself. Common sense, I think, is how I parent.
Yeah.
I will say this. So, Kim, my wife, and I were discussing discipline at one point, and we were trying to figure out sort of the overall frame, like vision of like how are we going to determine the discipline level for a given infraction?
Yes. Oh gosh, we're 10 years in.
Yeah,
and
and
we're still
so
doing that.
it was just like, let's just whatever the natural consequence is.
Yeah.
Just experience that, and maybe we amplify it a little bit. And I mean, that's the kind of the way I parent. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't read the books, or it's probably parenting wrong in a lot of ways, but whatever. So, yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna find, I do a lot of that. Dina offers a lot of direction, but I am very much a fan of let them screw it up themselves.
Yeah.
And experience that. We try to save them, but then, and that comes from how I was brought up. I was like, I told you not to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you did. But,
Yeah.
So rather than save it, just give the advice, give the direction, offer, that, hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Oh, you did it. Okay. Well, and that was a ton of how I was brought up.
Yeah.
So Dina did a lot of like self-raising.
Right.
She had 4 siblings, and there was 4 siblings. She was one of 4. And she was just naturally proficient at life, right? So her upbringing was very what I taught myself, what I learned myself. I mean, her parents were still, present, involved, and engaged, but she just navigated a lot of her own stuff because their age structure, her brother was a couple of years older than her, but then the last 2 on behind Dina were just they were very tight. So there was a lot of attention and focus there, and it was like, well, Dina's fending for herself. So,
right.
But I think that lends a lot to how we parent today. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I think when I think of myself like the regular dad in that sort of thought process, exceptional doesn't really enter into the equation. And that's not like being self-deprecating.
No.
I'm actually glad to some degree that I'm...
Yeah. It's not the Stellar Dad podcast.
Yeah, it's just common sense.
Yeah.
You just muddle through.
Yeah.
And but I think intentionality is also part of that. So you're intentional,
right?
But you're not following all the latest, I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. No, I understand completely.
Yeah.
Well, and so on this, and part of the future direction and what we have, there'll be a lot of dad to dad content. So there's things that, you know, that will be appealing to dads and to moms alike, but just driven predominantly from the dad perspective because, you know, hello, regular dad. But we'll also have an entire series that we will do that is going to be, excuse me, all types of just how do you function in life, doing different things, and it's called Dad, How Do I?
Yeah.
And that was brought about by a very good friend of ours, Natalie, and she said it would be cool for, you know, people my age, you know, to have stuff like that. And I said, well, why don't you just go talk to your dad about it? Well, yeah, that's fine, but not everyone. And another friend of ours doesn't have that as a resource.
Right.
And he draws off guys who are much older than him to figure out life and how to do things. And so we've just kind of seen this void that we can offer with everything from how to check the air pressure in your tires to, you know, all right, how to evaluate different home loans.
Right.
And so there will be nothing, you know, really that we won't discuss in there that's off limits. We're not going to get into highly controversial stuff because that doesn't help, and I don't feel like you can watch Joe Rogan for that. So it's just not. They can tackle that because I just don't have the mental energy for that. I want to offer encouragement and my advice.
He's able to get some exceptional minds to talk to.
Oh my gosh, isn't he though? So
yeah.
maybe someday that will be us. Maybe.
Yeah.
But so we'll offer that, and there'll probably be a lot of stuff that won't be happening, you know, in this room. You know, be a little bit more on location stuff and what have you. Now for us, now this is the pilot episode, but we have like a backdrop coming in, and we're figuring out camera positions, and we're getting all of our stuff figured out, and you know, so there'll be a constant stream of improvement as we move forward in that.
Right.
But you know, on the notes here, I said, you know, what is the podcast, what it is and what it isn't.
Right.
And so, you know, we've talked about a little bit about what it isn't, but it's not going to be anything that is where we're going to get into highly controversial stuff or that would marginalize anyone or anything like that. There's too much of that. This is we're all trying to row this boat together.
Yeah.
We may not all row the same direction, but we've all got a paddle in the water, you know, type thing.
Yep.
And we're trying to make our way. So maybe some of what we say and bring to the table is beneficial for others, and for others it might just annoy the crap out of them. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
You know. So, but yeah. So we're just wanting to help.
I mean, if the majority of the comments on a YouTube video are like, those guys are losers, at least we provided some entertainment for the person writing the comment.
You watched long enough to make that opinion.
I mean, that gave you a little bit of joy to type that comment and press send.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
If you do make those comments and I know you, I will find you and afford you the opportunity to have a discussion. So Jimmy, what do you do for a living?
I am a commercial pilot. So,
boy,
yeah,
that's cool.
It's fun.
Yeah. So, and you don't work for the airlines. You work for charter.
I do. It's a charter. So it's like, you know, it's like Uber.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
Uber for the uber wealthy.
Yeah.
Predominantly.
I mean, the plane I fly is pretty affordable. Not necessarily for regular dads like us.
Yeah. If you
affordable.
mow your own lawn, you're not affording your own plane.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Yeah. But it's surprisingly affordable.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a smaller airplane.
As aircraft go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, tell me this. We've kicked around other ideas where we want this to go. Of course, so we'll have all the long form videos on YouTube. We'll have some YouTube shorts. We'll have stuff on TikTok. We'll push those videos back to Instagram and Facebook for those of us old people that are still on Facebook. Yeah. I asked something.
Habits die hard, man.
So I'm on a local school board, right? And so I'm around, you know, junior high and high school kids a lot, and I hear stuff, and I'm like, they said, "Oh, well, I saw that online." I was like, "Oh, they on Facebook?" And they're like,
Yeah,
I was like,
this is yeah.
it was the boomer snicker,
Yeah.
and I'm not. I mean, I'm 44.
I don't
in a
know when
couple
that
weeks,
happened, but apparently that happened.
Yeah,
at some
so
point. Now it's
Facebook
just like
is lame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is like not. It's gone from just being like whatever. Well, who uses Facebook anymore?
Yes.
It's actually overtly like negative when you say you're on Facebook.
Yeah,
like-
yeah. And
It's like yeah,
I literally can't
It's
even,
fine.
as they say.
it's fine.
So, all right. Now we have our mission and vision, and we have some very, I say, rough stuff outlined. It may be what we actually run with, but essentially, we're wanting to bring this type of advice and encouragement and humor as we get some stories in there and different things. We want it to, what we do to be uplifting and helpful to people, and so that's what we're focusing on. And if we're helping people, great. And if people don't like us, well, they can unsubscribe.
Yeah,
Right. So I mean, we're we'll have we're looking at, well, we have a website, we have a URL reserved. That's currently has a landing page, theregulaردad.com. And we will be looking at developing that when the time is right. We'd like to see it, have our logo plastered everywhere. That'll be on the backdrop here whenever the backdrop ships. Good Lord. And then, which you won't see in the first 4 episodes because we're recording all those today.
yeah.
Studio magic. But we would like to have some merch, hats, shirts,
Yeah, it's a business endeavor.
yeah, just to,
No apologies.
yeah, no. And, but that's what we're going
Yeah.
for. So anyway, well, that's going to conclude everything that I have to bring to the table for episode 1, unless you have anything else.
I'm looking forward to the instructional videos.
I'm sure you are. That's right in your
I like
wheelhouse.
to
You
teach.
you lit up like a pinball machine when I said, "Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing."
Yeah.
You're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
So
it'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Maybe
All right.
we'll even do some cooking videos, and I can make a huge mess in the kitchen, and you can be annoyed with me because he's very particular about.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways.
But that'll be fun. So,
And my
so
14-year-old's an aspiring chef, so he might actually join us.
that kid can throw down
Yeah.
on some baking and other stuff. But that's kind of how he got his feet wet, was baking. And I
Yeah.
can't bake to save my life.
Really?
I
didn't
can
know
eat
that.
baked goods.
I didn't know you.
No,
Really?
no. I cook with fire. That's
Got it.
That's-
Okay.
that's all-
That's the category.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah.
Okay. Got
Yeah,
it. All right.
yeah.
Yeah. Now
So-
that we've thoroughly gone down the rabbit trail.
well. Sorry about that. So anyway, we'll see y'all next time on The Regular Dad.